Hello, assalamu alaikum, good morning, khushamdeed, ji ayanu, goeiemorgen.
Pakhair agale, ni hao, tsunashumbe, washmale, ohio gonzaimes, guten morgen, hola, bonjour, privyet, kaifa hal, hale shuma chatore, ahlan wasalan, marhaba, buna, mucho, gracias, swabia, bhalli kare ayo. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning into PTV while you watching World This Morning, alongside my very fantastic co-host Shiza Hashmi and myself, Shahzad Ehsan Khan.
Hi, Shahzad.
Hi, Shiza, how are you doing today?
I'm doing absolutely great, and the fact, I think the reason that we're overwhelmed
is
definitely the fact that we are not doing this show in our studios today. This is definitely different for all the regular viewers and the audiences out there. I think you can tell, especially, well, no more green screen. How are you feeling about this?
Exactly. I think I feel great, and all my life, this is what I wanted. I always wanted to do our program on a physical set, but eventually, you know, today is that point in my life where I've gotten this opportunity. But not just that, ladies and gentlemen, I think that we are overwhelmed for a few more other facts as well.
Oh, absolutely.
That first of all, ladies and gentlemen, we happen to be over here at Pnca over here in Islamabad. They recently actually held a short film contest, and now they are done with it. They got the results. We have the winners with us as well. But the most amazing part is the jury members. Ladies and gentlemen, for all of those people I grew up watching, and not just on television, because since they happen to be my neighbor too as well, and we happen to share the same garden in between our houses, I think that it was always the kind of desire I had that I always wanted to do, or probably have him on our show as well. And ladies and gentlemen, whenever we speak about him, I think that he's contributed quite a lot towards the entire, I think, all kinds of art, all kinds of culture, and ladies and gentlemen, they are the gatekeepers and the watchmen of the arts and culture over here in Pakistan. Obviously, Pnca did a great job, but these people, they started doing all of this when we actually couldn't even think about it, or lack of resources and all of those problems we talk about in daily routines. I think that the problems they had were enormous, but not just that, they overcome that. Ladies and gentlemen, they overcome it in a way that they got pride of performance, that they were conferred upon with Sitara Imtiaz, and then the list just goes on.
Yes,
and it's a lucky day for me that we happen to be over here amongst these legendary human beings as well. Ladies and gentlemen, first up with us, Mr. Farooq. Kaise sahab? Hello, sir. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us, sir. Wonderful to have you. Moving on now, ladies and gentlemen, ever since I was a kid, I was never actually allowed to watch a film. And yes, because I actually hail from a very typical Pakistani background where parents could actually watch a film, but the kids cannot. I don't know what actually went through them, but yes. But the one thing which I watched was somebody who was a great film critic. Not just that, he would actually be in conversation with people, let people know that this is how the films really need to be made. And not just that, he happens to be an encyclopedia of whatever film and song you're going to ask, he's actually going to tell us as well. And he used to appear on television, and he used to do it like that as well. Okay, ye film, you know, this guy. Ye film, this guy. This song, this guy. You know, so to be among such people when there were no computers, or the utility of the computer wasn't as such, I think that it's a great day for us, ladies and gentlemen. Another jury member, Mr. Ejaz Gul Sahab. Hello, sir. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us, sir.
Good to be with you.
Thank you very much, sir. Kya baat hai, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, not just that, when we talk about that, we actually happen to be over here in Pnca. I think that they did a great job because in these times of pandemic, we have seen that, you know, all kinds of art was at halt. There was no drama production, there was no film production, there were no short films in the making. So one way or the other, I think Pnca, being the flag bearer of the art and culture, had to come up with a way where they thought that, okay, you know, if it's COVID, if it's pandemic, we still really need to coexist, because art and culture and COVID, because we have seen cricket matches are on in a biosecure bubble, and they have given us a strong message that cricket and COVID can exist. But today Pnca has given us a strong message that every kind of art and culture can coexist alongside COVID. Ladies and gentlemen, we're very lucky that we've actually been joined by a program coordinator for Pnca short film contest. He happens to be Mr. Umar Zaka. Hello, assalamu alaikum. Good morning.
Walaikum assalam. Good morning. Pleasure is entirely mine.
क्या बात है सर, बहुत खूबसूरत, और आपकी आज वेस्ट कोट भी मुझे बहुत अच्छी लगी है सर. You look wonderful. Not just that, moving on.
Right, so this is very exciting. We do definitely have the winners from the contest over here joining us today. And in the first segment, we will definitely be having the one who got the first position. We will ask him about, what the short film was about. It's called Pur. And the filmmaker is here with us. He is none other than Mr. Umar Nafis. Hello, assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me here, and I'm honored to be
here in front of such legendary people.
And congratulations, brother. We're definitely going to talk about your short film, but let's get the conversation started with the legends over here.
Yeah.
Now, sir, you've heard all the introduction, and I think that, this is something which you've done wonderfully, and that is that you've made sure that you've given a strong message out there that no matter what happens, if we are to be the members of the jury, we'll come out of our comfort zones. Nobody's coming out of their houses these days. So thank you very much for giving us your time in the first place. But in the first place, when you got to know that PNCA is actually having such a competition where you will have to judge so many entries, what was the first thought which came to your mind?
It is always a pleasure.
Wow.
Watching a movie or a program on a screen in these days, I mean, when you don't have any other work to do. So my first impression by watching these movies was that we have a lot of youngster, very talented people, very talented girls and boys.
Of course.
And in that reference, I have to narrate a small incident.
Sure, sir.
When I was teaching in the university, in girls, Fatma Jinnah Women University, I was a teacher of communication to them, and once I gave them an assignment to make puppets and then manipulate them, and I gave them my own songs which were written by me in 1976. And one of the groups, the girls, they presented a very strange presentation. And it was not of my style or my teaching, according to my teaching, which I taught them.
Okay.
The girls, the song was in Urdu, which was written in 1976 by me, and it was about a duck and two children. They were looking for water. In those days, in 1970s, there was dearth of water in Islamabad.
Okay.
So the song, उनके बोल ये थे कि ना आन चाहिए ना बान चाहिए, बस थोड़े से किराए का मकान चाहिए.
Okay.
और इस तरफ या उस तरफ हम जाएं, आखिर किस तरफ आधा हो या पूरा हो, पोर्शन अधूरा हो, मंजी बिस्तर सोफा ना सामान चाहिए, बस थोड़े से किराए का मकान चाहिए. अब ये गाना उन्होंने इसको स्टेज पे, मैंने नहीं ये बताया था, ये उनकी अपनी
Okay.
स्टेज पे ओपन होता है, देयर इज स्मोक एंड a man is lying on a bed and there is a voice over. Khawateen Hazrat, this man is the president of Pakistan.
Oh, okay.
And he dreamt that in a dream he has become a very poor man, the president of Pakistan. And they're looking for a house on rent.
Okay.
And he is not finding that. And the song goes on and they manipulate, which I was astonished. I mean, this was not my idea. And the vice chancellor, she said that we can't show it to the audience because it's
Ridiculing the president.
the president of Pakistan. And but I told her that it's not ridiculing the president; it's a fact. That if he is a poor man knows the problem of a poor. So at that time I thought that these young girls, which are the coming generation of Pakistan, they are far beyond of my work, which I have done in so many years. So to me, watching of youngsters work on a screen in a form of a movie or film is always very fantastic. It's very, getting more information, more experience, and their ideology. which is
Right.
very essential. to know.
Right, and sir, you're always up for learning something new, and I think you're being very humble and modest over here when you're giving all the credit to your students. I think it was under your mentorship and under the independence you gave to them that they can actually execute whatever comes to their mind, which is why they were flourishing. So I think the credit definitely goes to you. For so many years, you've been watching, if there is a transformation, you have been watching that transformation of cinema in Pakistan. And now, being the jury member over here, looking at the short films which are actually depicting the true culture of Pakistan, first of all, do you think there has been a transformation? And number two, do you think they are, well, being just to serving the culture of Pakistan to the audiences?
Well, let me tell you that there has been a revolution.
Okay.
We were on analog, which is 35 millimeters. The films were made in the studios. They were processed in the laboratory. They were developed. They went for editing in the studios, dubbing, background score, all that stuff.
Yes.
All that has changed after 2007. Now it's the digital. Now you can make film at your home. You can use your cell phone or you can use a camera. There's no processing, there's no development. So there has been a world difference between analog and now digital.
Right. Okay, that's brilliant of you. And the fun part, or actually I want to say the most interesting part is that you saw that and you were here to narrate all of that to us. And then of course the youngsters
Witnessing
can learn
this
from
as
you.
well, yes.
Yeah, so and while you were actually taking a look at all these short films that they produced, can you recall one that stayed in your mind that, okay, this was very impactful? Can you share some story that you saw?
Well, it would be unfair.
Fair enough.
All right, so we won't let that happen, ladies and gentlemen, since they happen to be jury members. Obviously, even if they wanted to express, they cannot. But yes, I think that over here, since we are talking and since we are right now present in Pnca as well, it's very important that we actually start a conversation with Mr. Umar Zaka Sahab as well, because one way or the other, this short film contest, even during the pandemic times, was a brainchild of yours and Dr. Fawzia ji as well. So share the idea, first of all, that how did you conceive the idea? And then was it a little hard or challenging for you to accomplish for whatever you have accomplished so far?
Like you said, in this pandemic situation, people are restricted to their homes. And the idea was to provide youth with a creative opportunity and a platform to express themselves. And I am glad that we have received multiple entries from all over the Pakistan. And yes,
How many entries did you got?
more than 50. And
Wow.
in this short span of time, like it was just a period of 2 or 3 weeks, and they managed to send such a quality stuff to us.
Yep.
And all the credits to our respected Director General Dr. Fawzia, who conceived that idea very well, and under her patronage we are able to make it happen in a
Wow,
very short time.
that's wonderful.
I
So-
think it's brilliant to actually take this forward as well, especially imagine if the pandemic, if like every other thing you were to halt this process, imagine how depressing would it be for all the artists all around the country realizing that now you guys being the custodian, you have taken a break as well. So kudos to you for not taking a break first of all. And now moving on to the filmmaker we have over here. Congratulations again for taking the first prize. Let us know about the story behind your film. What inspired you to make this? And did you even think that you're going to win the first prize for it?
And before you start speaking, I think that this is one thing which we need to do. And since your film actually won the first position as well, and you won yourself 25,000 rupees on behalf of Pnca.
How did you conceive this idea? Was it first of all your idea? And then what were, well, let's say some of the difficulties that you had while making the film?
Okay, so I grew up in walled city of Lahore, so my entire life went watching all, roof, this crazy culture. And so I wanted to, capture the essence and the brotherhood of the pigeon fanciers. So I kind of managed to capture and, compiled it into the documentary.
That's
And-
interesting. But you know what? If someone were to tell me that you have to make a film about the culture of Pakistan, of course there were so many things that would come in my mind. How this particular idea, this is unique, Shahzad, right?
yeah.
I mean, we have never come across such a film talking about this particular thing. So how did you conceive what inspired you?
I think that this thing was very close to me. Like I said, where I was living
So
on
you
my
grew
roof,
up watching
it
all
was a
this.
huge.
Yeah.
It was a huge,
Even I've had pigeons at my place as well, but not the kind of competition which people are
Yeah.
crazy about. And for all of those people who are out there, because we were not able to share the entire short film, Ladies and gentlemen, it's a very expensive sport over here in Pakistan, and not just that, people can, I don't know whether I should say it on television or not, but people do not talk to other people if, God forbid, their pigeon lands on the other's roof. And there are people who are actually out there all day long to get their hands onto somebody else's pigeons as well.
Wow.
And there are fights and arguments and cash prizes, which are huge in numbers. And yes, I think that you've, the best part over here is, which I would want to recognize, is that you came up with this idea that this is the kind of culture you want to share with everybody else as well. And I think that you've done a wonderful job, and PNC has actually told you, the jury members has told you as well, because kabutarbazi, ladies and gentlemen, actually runs in the blood, and you just cannot take it out. That's what he said as well. And great job done. But what are you going to do with the winning cash prize? Are you going to buy a pigeon?
I think, like always, hand it to my mother.
Wow.
Was she happy to learn that you got the first prize?
Sorry?
Was she happy to learn that you won the competition?
Yeah, she always happy to.
And now that you won the competition, just one last thing before we actually have to head out towards a short break, and that is, do you think that this competition will actually help you kind of go towards the same path which made you come to us, or probably which made you appear on television? And since it's your interest that you wanted to make a film, would you want to continue now because you got the appreciation, you got the thapki, as Farooq Sahab said?
Yeah, of course, definitely. I think we young filmmakers, we student filmmakers, when we make films, films went into hard drives and stay into hard drives.
Yeah.
That's that's not a good thing for us. So,
it needs to be
first of
out
all,
in the world.
I would like to thanks PNCA to appreciate our work on such a big platform,
And wonderful, yeah.
That's very
So-
appreciating and very motivating. So next time,
Alhamdulillah.
definitely.
And continue doing this amazing work as well. And Umar Sahab, one last question before we head out towards a short break, and that is, now we have seen that COVID, arts and cultures and cricket and everything can coexist. We are humans, we are smart, alhamdulillah, that's how Allah made us. What are we going to witness in near future? Are we going to witness some online music competitions?
Absolutely. There is a lot more in our bucket, and we are streamlining a lot of mega projects like online music competitions, painting competitions, and believe me.
So you're going to continue?
Yes, we are going
And
to
we are going
continue
to
with
ride
same
the wave.
spirit, yes.
Wow, wonderful it is. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we're actually going to head out towards a short break.
Right, but before we do that, Shahzad, I think I have still a few questions that I want to ask these
Okay.
legends over here. Ijaz Gul Saab, when we talk about such contests and competitions, now this is an annual thing. It happens, if not in PNCA, definitely, there are so many other publishers and organizations that I'm probably not going to name right now, but they have been having these competitions. And like Farooq Saab before the show said, that encouragement, or the thapki that we talk about, it's so important to push anyone in the right direction. What do you see the future of these festivals or contests is? And do you think it actually benefits the filmmakers? That does it inspire them to actually be a filmmaker as a professional?
Yes, definitely. We have a whole new generation of filmmakers. These are not theatrical filmmakers in Karachi or Lahore. They are all over Pakistan, in universities, colleges, schools. Film is coming up as a medium of instruction.
Right.
And these youngsters, are part of that. And I think then, this is a stepping stone for them.
Of course.
Yes.
And then they would move on to the feature films.
Wow,
So I
that's
think we have
brilliant.
hit the nail on the head as well. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're actually going to head out towards a short break.
Yeah.
The legends and the members of the jury are going to stay with us throughout the program. But thank you very much, Umar Sahab. Thank you very much, gentlemen. You've done a great job as well. And please continue to do so. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now continuing with the motion, I think what the most essential part of the program is now. And it's because of the fact that if it wouldn't have been the DGPNCA, I don't think that, all of these things which we are bringing for your eyes today
Right.
would have been possible. So what we did was that we actually tried talking and be in conversation with Dr. Fawzia. And we actually want to share it with you two all as well. And let's see what she has to say and what's her take on this competition.
Let's take a look.
I'm really thrilled to have this competition of filmmaking. Pakistan National Council of the Arts is always adamant about facilitating the creativity of young people, may it be in writing, may it be in visual arts or filmmaking, because we think we have a treasure of capacity with young people, and we always want to make them feel confident and give the opportunities to participate. So first of all, I am really happy about the competition and I congratulate all the winners of the competition. Secondly, I want to say that we are also looking at filmmaking as a whole area to contribute, and we are going to offer a fantastic 1-year training course on film production. And I think through this program I want to also convey that we are looking for 20 bright, talented young people. The course has 6 courses, the whole course, the 1-year course has 2 semesters, 4 months each and 6 courses in each semester. And we will be getting international faculty, local faculty, people who are very well versed with academia as well as with practical experience. So it is going to be a thrilling experience. So I want you to tell your friends about it, and the guests that we have here at the show, I think this is just a sample of brilliance that our Pakistani youth has. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going for a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Good morning.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. For everybody who just got tuned into PTV World, you watching World this morning alongside my very fantastic co-host Shiza Hashmi. Ladies and gentlemen, before going towards the break, as we all know that today we happen to be over here in Pnca and amongst some legendary stars over here on my right hand side. But not just that, now I think is the time that we actually start our conversation with people who actually scored the 2nd and the 3rd position in this short film contest.
Right, absolutely. And you know, Shazad, what's very interesting is to see the youth come up with brilliant ideas and then execute them in such a way that, I mean, everyone can actually watch them in form of short films. We actually do have the runners-up over here in the studio, rather in the hall with us right now. So without further ado, I'm going to be introducing them. Well, the 2nd position actually went to a film which is called Wafa Uski. What's the story behind the film? We will definitely ask the maker of the film over here in the studio. He's none other than Ahmed Abbas. Hello, assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the show.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, and next to Ahmed, the 3rd position goes to a film which is all about Pakistan. Well, from the name of it, I think it's very patriotic and nationalistic, but we will, of course, definitely listen to the story of it. It's called Ye Mera Pakistan, and the creator of the film is Sardar Zahir Zafran. Assalamu alaikum, welcome to the show.
Walaikum salam, thank
And
you.
congratulations once again for scoring the 3rd position as well. But now let's get started. You know, I think it's a great day for me in the first place because I'm sharing this stage with some legendary beings over here who've actually made sure that they're going to look after the arts and the culture of the country in a way that they've dedicated their entire lives. For us, I think that we are getting started. And where are we right now is something which we need to ask. But in the first place, how did you get to know about this competition? I think I'm going to get started with you in the first place, and then we'll move on towards Mr. Zafran.
All right, so I received a WhatsApp picture from my father.
Yeah.
His friend sent it to him, so he forwarded it to me, and I thought that why not avail this opportunity and send the film to this contest. So
Yeah.
that's how I found about this.
Wow.
Okay, and was there like a theme or something that you were aiming to produce a film at? And I mean, did they tell you what to make?
The theme was promoting Pakistani culture, and we had already made a film in our during our degree.
Okay.
So I thought that why not submit that instead of making something new.
Wow,
All
that's
right, so-
wonderful. How did you come up with the idea? You know, first of all, the name in the first place, and then what is the story all about?
So the name of the film and the story itself both are very interesting stories, and I like to keep it short. The title of the film, we were shooting its last monologue in Sadr, Rawalpindi, and a man came to us and asked that what are you guys doing? So we told him that we are shooting a short film. So उसके बाद फिर थोड़ी सी बातचीत वगैरह उस बंदे से हुई, तो उसके बाद फिर उसने बताया कि वो सरमद खूसट के साथ भी काम कर चुका है. उसके बाद वी सैट एंड वी हैड अ कप ऑफ टी. फिर हमने उसको जब स्टोरी बताई तो ही सेड कि हम वी आस्क्ड हिम रादर कि व्हाट शुड बी द टाइटल ऑफ द फिल्म अकॉर्डिंग टू यू. तो उसने बताया कि वफा उसकी. तो हमने कहा कि ठीक है, बेहतरीन है. और जो इसकी स्टोरी थी, आर ग्रुप मेंबर फाउंड एन आर्टिकल ऑफ ऑन हफिंग पोस्ट which was written by Kabir Taneja, who was a normal Indian citizen. तो उसके वहाँ से हमने उसकी स्टोरी ली. स्क्रीन पे जो था वो हमारी ग्रुप मेंबर ने लिखा. और उसके बाद थोड़ा सा उसको चेंज वगैरह करके, and when we made the film, when it was finalized, we sent it to him to India. We emailed him, और he was his family was all over the moon because उनको लगा कि पाकिस्तान से एक हमारे आर्टिकल पे हमारी फैमिली के मेंबर पे किसी ने फिल्म बना के भेजी है. so that's a big thing for him.
Exactly.
तो वो हमारे लिए बड़ा अच्छा था कि दोनों कंट्रीज़ के दरमियान वो भी एक थोड़ा वो था कि चलो मज़ेदार चीज़ हो.
You know, this is what actually art is. There are definitely no boundaries whenever it comes to, you know, art, different forms of course. And now moving on to Sardar Sahab, Ye Mera Pakistan, what is it about? How did you conceive the idea? And was it easy to execute what was in your mind?
Actually, you see, right now it's very important for, you know, for second generation to transform a message for, you know, third generation in Pakistan and to connect them with the struggle of Pakistan. So in fact, when this competition, how it you know, came to us, my partner, she's also, we are a part of, actually I'm a part of team that made this film. So she saw a post on Facebook and referred to all team members, guys, this is a competition and they want us to make a film on how Pakistani culture is, how we can best represent it.
Right.
So we were already working on some of other projects where we were trying to portray positive image of Pakistan. Either it was Inspire Pakistan or, you know, Promising Pakistan. These were two forums we were already connected. But this gave us a chance, let's try, you know, this one as well. So we tried and made a film on a struggle of average Pakistani, you know, how he spent his day in life. So it's on that. So if you're a Pakistani, obviously you face so many problems. Either it is electricity, you know, it is
Clean
water.
Yeah.
Exactly. So all these problems are there.
Okay.
But your heart and your passion for Pakistan, you can't compromise on this. So you have to work for this country no matter what. So that's the spirit that's behind the film that we made.
They have Pakistani indeed.
And we love the passion as well, and it's beautiful that you've said it. And ladies and gentlemen, for all of those people who are actually tuned into PTV World right now, I think film is one of those mediums which has always had a greater impact on people, on personalities, on communities, on societies as well.
Absolutely.
But now, sir, coming back to you, now what I would love to know over here is that, you know, whenever you're judging, you're a member of the jury as well, what are those important characteristics you see in a short film? First of all, let's get done with that and then move on to whether you love the story, why are they scoring the second position and him relatively the third. So let's get started with that.
First of all, the content. What is the story? What is the theme? What is the content? And the second one is the making. Two elements. There are many other elements, but I think the subject which he got the first prize is Babowski, is about, he will tell you the story, it's about a man or two people from
Different.
before partition, and they help each other. I think the film is the best medium to bring two countries closer.
Yes.
And that's what he achieved in his movie, which I like very much.
Okay,
Wow,
so this was one of the elements that stayed with
that's
you.
right.
But sir, now you both have watched not only theirs, but hundreds of entries that were definitely submitted in this festival. Do you think that representing the culture of Pakistan, the youth was doing a justice through their medium?
Yes, of course. To me, youth is quite very much ahead of my ideology.
Okay.
Because of the modern technology, because of the internet,
Of course.
Yeah.
and having much information more than me, I think they have got a very vast and ample
Grasp, I want to say,
grasp,
over the
right.
topic.
Yeah,
the
in
culture
front of them, and they achieve it. And the good thing is they are very hardworking generation.
Right.
So this is one thing which I want to clear my head about. So do you think that, having access to a lot of information and knowledge out there is something which you would say that, this is the positive side in these times? Because if you go back in time and if we look at the kind of work you've done, I think all of the content was actually made by you. It's not that somebody took an article from somewhere else and then made a film. When it was your time, and still, alhamdulillah, that's what you do. You write it yourself. So as a filmmaker, for all of those people who are out there who want to be filmmakers, what would you recommend? Do you think that it's a better idea to actually get hold of an article, ask for permission and make a film, or rather do it yourself?
In my time, that was required. What we did,
Okay.
but in this time, these people, these younger people, they have quite easy access to information, and it's very easy to me. It's very easy to make a movie or short film, because there are a lot of content on the internet,
Exactly.
and you can easily copy that, and you can get the inspiration from them, and you don't need any teacher now, or
Right.
any. You have the institution on your screen, on your computer, so you can get anything you want. But the difference which I feel that in our time we used to work hard with a very limited resources, and we achieved. That was, I don't know that is good or bad. At that time it was required by the society.
Exactly.
So you have got easy access, easy. I mean,
Or probably a lot of resources.
but you have got the modern age, and there's a lot of challenges which you will have to face.
Which we'll definitely move on to, but let's move on to Ijaz Sahab over here. So Ijaz Sahab, all your life.
Our teacher.
Yeah, obviously. All your life, you've been a film critique as well, and you've done some enormous, your contributions are enormous to the industry. And since we're talking about this short film festival over here, which took place, which I think was a wonderful initiative by Pnca as well. And it's because of the fact that it was pandemic, COVID and whatsoever. But even then, these younger people have made sure that they're going to make an investment with their hard work and make sure that they revive the industry, whether it's the short film or we talk about the other films or commercial films as well. Now, what are those things which you look for in a short film? Because there's so many entries coming in and you have to screen all of them as well. What are the things you're looking for, and why do you think that these two people actually made sure that they're going to get the second place or the third place relatively? What were you looking for in the short films?
Well, there are so many things, when you watch a film and you are part of the jury, and Farooq Saab very correctly said that first of all it's the content, the script, the screenplay of the project, and then there's technique, editing, photography, sound, acting, of course, direction, and but I think having said this, the script comes first. So the idea, the concept, did the filmmaker manage to convey what he wanted? I think these are the things which are to be taken into consideration by the jury members.
Right. But I'm sort of going to present a situation. So like you said, the idea is very important, but execution is too. I mean, of course, for a viewer like me who's not, I wouldn't say so perfect in picking out the flaws and picking out the story like you guys are, mashallah, I think I will be okay watching the film, but you can tell that either the idea was fully executed or not. So what if, due to lack of resources probably, or due to lack of experience, a filmmaker is not fully presenting everything on the screen, but the idea is great? How does that work? Or does it, does it even count as a good piece in your eyes?
I think anyone who is familiar with the situation and the resources the filmmaker has, I think these should be taken into consideration.
Of course.
It's not a full-length studio production. He has collected the resources, he has managed the funding, and even if there are a few weaknesses, I think those should be overlooked.
Exactly.
That's
very
brilliant.
wonderfully said as well.
And very generous as well.
Yeah, but I'll move back to Zafran Sahab over here. So, I actually would love to know what were the challenges, because Farooq Sahab over here said that, there are a lot of challenges. in the newer age as well, and then there were a lot of challenges when they were working. What were the challenges you and your team faced while you were shooting for this short film?
Yeah, obviously there are challenges, but you know, that's what we do, how to overcome those challenges.
That's what
obviously,
Pakistanis do, eh?
exactly. So that was, in fact, our idea was this, you know, how Pakistani, you know, manages all these challenges in a day. So similarly, that happened with us. So somebody has to write a script, the idea has to be original. So that was job. Obviously, we were few people behind. It was not just one person, but you know, we were a group of people. So one wrote an idea, other just, you know, try to wrote a script. The next one said, okay, I'll do the voiceover. The third said, okay, I'll do the acting. And it was overall, obviously, we shot this film in a day. Obviously, we're a commercial organization. We do other work for people. We charge money for it. But this time it was competition. It was for Pakistan. And obviously, our intention was not to get a prize or award at the end. But yes, it was there. But our objective was to participate and try to present the positive image of Pakistan in either way, if you're able to.
And you did that.
Yeah, we did that.
And I think that you're explaining it wonderfully well as well. But now I'm going to come down to a point where I think that it becomes more challenging. Now, if we talk about modern era, we have YouTubers, we have people, you know, who have their own channels. And with that, I think comes a lot of challenges. You have to do your own voiceovers, original ideas. The content needs to be original, because otherwise it's going to be taken off wherever you're going to put it on. And I've seen people so talented that they're going to write their own lyrics, record music, do the background scores and everything. How did you manage to do that all in one day?
In fact, as I said, that we're already doing work on commercial scale, so we know how to, you know, manage it. In fact, for a track, obviously, we used a track which is a national songs track. So for us, it was important to use which is not the copyright one. So we went for the track which is, you know, no royalty at all. So we use that.
Yeah, wonderful. So you know, having all of these resources, and you said that you're a commercial organization, how do you feel scoring the third position? Why not first then?
Well, see, it's a competition.
Of course.
It's a competition, and you know, probably they see, you know, what I don't see. And probably our objective was not to get prize or to stay on first, second or third. It was just to participate.
Wonderful.
And I think that is encouragement for us.
Definitely.
So maybe this time third prize, maybe next time some other prize.
And this is a politically correct answer.
No, but I think you did great. I mean, considering the resources you said you had, and considering the fact that you finished it in a day, I mean, without any intention of getting the prize as well, I think this was brilliant. Now coming to Ahmed. Ahmed, you hail from an educational institution which is, of course, very popular in Pakistan. And whenever
you hail from there too?
Yeah, that's
so
the
here's
reason.
the thing, they definitely do provide you with the, I mean, best quality of faculty and all the resources. And you made this film particularly when you were studying. So you might have gotten some, I want to say, feedback from your teachers and some criticism from your fellows and whatnot. Did you work on that? What were some of the things you fixed for this competition? And also, after, I mean, you sort of, I want to say, reinvented this film, what was the feedback then?
The best feedback that we got from our faculty member was that this was a master's level, because हम bachelor's कर रहे थे.
Who was the faculty member?
Sir Salman Nasir.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So he said कि ये master's level की है.
Nice.
So that was, I mean, something.
Compliment.
That was a great compliment.
Yeah.
Okay.
और बाकी he said कि थोड़ी सी improvements करें इसमें, technicalities वो हमने बाद में बेहतर कर ली थी.
Okay, so you did make sort of improvements. But now, since we were also in conversation with Sardar Sahab and we were asking some of the difficulties they had while shooting, luckily he didn't have any because he's a professional about it already. You being a student, you must have had many difficulties in terms of probably getting to the right resources, making people act and whatnot. Let us know about all of those.
First of all, कि logistics का बहुत मसला होता है, getting the permission to shoot at the Golra railway station.
Right.
क्योंकि आपको काफ़ी जगह से घूम फिर के वहाँ पर परमिशन मिलती है. Secondly, the cast के we used our group members, they acted, और जो station master थे वो भी हमें उन्हीं को use करना पड़ा.
Okay, the one who was already present at the station.
ना उन्हीं को use करना पड़ा. So ज़ाहिर है वो अब actor तो नहीं है professional, so उसमें थोड़ा सा compromise हमें करना पड़ा. The equipment we had was the department could not provide all the equipment, क्योंकि सबको they had to provide all the equipment to other group members as well.
Yeah.
So we had to use our own equipment, and that was obviously we were compromising on little bits. The थोड़ी चीज़ों में compromise करना पड़ रहा था.
Yeah.
Right.
But even then, you've managed to
You
score the
made it.
second position, and you won a cash prize as well. What are you going to do with that? Let's talk about that.
The cash prize.
well, I have not yet announced that to my group members.
Okay.
How much is the cash prize? But
Yeah.
I have
Do
decided.
you want us to announce?
No, that's all right. But I have decided that we'll give that to the station master.
Good, yeah.
who
That's
shot with
nice.
us.
Very wonderful.
Because
That's
obviously
very
he's not coming from a very privileged family.
Exactly.
So that's
Wonderful.
Oh, that's brilliant. Sorry, Shahzad, I'm cutting you over here, but you know, talking about different forms of arts and culture, especially in the pandemic, I think we spoke about this in the first segment as well. Everything was on a halt. I mean, if we talk about, of course, exhibitions, we talk about concerts, we talk about galleries, whatnot, everything was sort of, I mean, not working anymore. Even productions were halted, which is why actually a massive number of people were hooked to Netflix as well. But talking about
Including
the
me.
dying,
Yeah.
talking about the dying form of arts. Now, sir, you being the legend, of course, you being the master, you can agree to disagree. But my belief, I want to say, is looking at all the work that you've done as well. Puppeteering, first of all, happens to be one of the, I want to say, one of the art forms that stays with a young child with a developing mind, and it helps them shape their personality. But after you, I don't see any prominent figure in Pakistan who's taking that forward. What do you think about this?
Let me explain one thing which I missed before. The film, to me, it's, I hope Ijaz would agree with me. Film is a combination of all the fine arts.
Right.
Everything is the color, the dialogue, the script writing, the songs, the background, the lighting, acting. There's no element of fine art which is not in the movie. And once I was very young, and I met a director of Punjabi movie, Aslam Rana, and he told me that, you know, the old films, they are now have the archival values because maybe intentionally or by chance, the shooting which was made or done by in those days, 40, 50 years back, of a song in a Murray would also depict the background of the Murray.
Yeah.
And you can count how many trees were at that time,
Yeah.
what was the greenery, and there are many buildings which are now they are not demolished.
Exactly.
So the archival value, there's a lot of things. Coming back to my art, the art of puppetry. To me, it's I got it. I was involved in this form of art by chance.
Okay.
I did my graduation in textile designing, but I did never. After that, when I was joined, I was offered a small program, first of all, and the producer asked me whether you would have you made a puppet before, and I said yes, because if I would say no,
Then
I would lose the
job.
So gradually I learned a lot, and one thing I found that this is one of the mediums which is very cheap in there's no expenses are involved. You just take a doll puppet and start speaking and manipulate that, and you convey your messages.
Right.
And whereas a movie, although the filmmaking is changed now, there's no need of studio, there's no need of camera. You have a mobile phone with you. You can. Now the important thing is the content, on which there's a lot of content. There are a lot of stories on you can find it on the net, and it depends on the director or the producer, which to which subject he would
love to pick.
He would like to pick. My art is not dying.
Okay.
It's ignored.
Right.
Because there are many groups. They are working on it. They come to me and I encourage them. But the problem is with the government sector.
Okay.
I mean, the government has many other problems. So it's to them it's a very minor problem.
Yeah,
for
they
them.
do not prioritize it.
Exactly, that's right. So we'll have to do, like Pakistan National Council of the Arts is doing a very wonderful job. They have a puppet theater and a lot of talented young people who are working here. And now I expect that after having Dr. Fauziya with us, will grow in this form of art.
Definitely.
Puppet making, puppets is considered a art for children, but it's not. It's a fantasy. It's fantasy, and fantasy has, you have fantasy, I have fantasy in my. So it depends again the content, what you are going to throw.
Or what are you going to share with people?
Or
Storytelling,
yeah, exactly, with the help of the puppet. And I have done more than 3,500 shows in the very remote areas of Pakistan.
Mobile puppet shows.
Mobile puppet shows, and there is no electricity, there is no television, nothing, and they listen to us. And
Exactly.
So I think we'll have to reconsider, like you said, the upload of art to the medium, to the media.
Exactly, and share it with everybody, which is very right. Now, sir, since we are running short of time and we have to wrap up the show as well, there's one last thing which I wanted to ask Jazgul Sahab, and that is something very different. Then, this is something which I've observed. Now, when we obviously we talk about the revival of Pakistani cinema, but then at the same time we're a smaller country, smaller population, not many people are very habitual of going to the cinema. You know, because of all the time since 2000 till 2015 when we were fighting with extremism and terrorism
There's no
within the
proper
country.
theatre culture.
But there's one thing which I've realized, and I think that for all of those people or media houses, they might be offended with this, but I'm going to say it out loud, and that is that it's always about the face value. We see across the border, their film stars are always on television, in a news channel, in everywhere else. Now, if we come down to Pakistan, over here, celebrities are politicians. Now, if we think, for example, casting Mr. Nawaz Sharif in a film, don't you think that the film will do the business? It will do the business. It will pull all the money out. Doesn't matter what happens. How are we going to change this trend where in our country, politicians happens to be celebrities, and celebrities are actually striving or probably having a tough time to get some work?
Artists, rather, yes.
The politician would give some money, they
To
would
get
pay.
it
Yes, that's why. Why would they book us, the artist? It's very easy. It's just talk. There's no result. You can see
Exactly.
to your screen. So, but you are very right, because they are the heroes of the.
Which is why I posed this question to him, that that the media houses need to play. For example, Shiza went out shopping. It needs to be on the news.
Right.
How was she dressed up, or things like that. And
Well,
this
I
is how
hope
you
not.
build up that face value. Ajaz, do you think that I have the right idea now?
I think the TV networks must realize and understand the fact that it's not the circus of these politicians in the evening from 6 o'clock to 11 o'clock, which is the only reason for the rating. I think they have ignored the film industry. The film industry has the glamour and the talent and the capacity,
Definitely.
with music and acting,
Exactly.
that they should get a fair share on television, prime time, of course,
Exactly.
which they are not getting.
That's true.
And thank you very much for saying that, and thank you very much for agreeing to us as well, and thank you very much for taking our time, sir. It was a pleasure. I think this is one of the most memorable days of my life, because I got to interview you two legendary human beings
And
as well.
that too together.
Yes, and both of you as well, because I think that such competitions will actually give us that motivation that we really need to work or strive towards that as well, and bring out the art we have within ourselves.
Most
Ladies
definitely.
and gentlemen, since we're very short on time, so I think we're going to keep it brief, but good job PNCA, good job Dr. Fauziya, sir, good job to both of you two as well, and good job guys. You guys did a wonderful job. Ladies and gentlemen, this means that COVID and all kinds of talent can coexist. I think what we
Absolutely.
really need to do is that find the medium through which we can attain the kind of desires we have.
Most definitely so. And Shahzad, I think you rightly used the word coexist, because like we said, the pandemic is not going anywhere, but definitely we have to be careful with it. So please continue with the daily routines that you had. Continue making beautiful content for Pakistan, for all the filmmakers out there as well, but while also observing all the SOPs and making sure that you yourself and the people around you are safe. I really hope you enjoyed the show as much as we did, right?
Yes.
And if you did, let us know on our Facebook page with the name of
World This Morning.
On Twitter.
World This Morning without G.
On YouTube.
YouTube, you look for PTV World and the most viewed show, which is World This Morning. Shukar Alhamdulillah.
And if you've missed this, it's all right. The repeat of the show you can catch at
5 past midnight. Ladies and gentlemen, till the next time, look after yourselves. Remember our entire team in your prayers. 1, 2, 3. Good morning.